Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. We've got some local street news from Birmingham. We've had 5 stabbings in 24 hours. The most recent one happened on Cherrywood Road in Bordsley Green, just next to Small Heath. A shopkeeper was stabbed in the arm at the junction by Fordruff Lane and was taken to hospital. Armed police attended the scene but no arrests were made. The first one happened on Junction Road in Handsworth at 20 to 8 on Wednesday, where they found a man in his 30s who had been stabbed in his arm and in his leg. He was taken to hospital and treated for non-serious injuries. The second incident happened when 2 men were knifed and left with multiple injuries after they were attacked in Berkeley Road, Yardley Wood, just after 9:25 p.m. on Wednesday. Crowds gathered and a blood-splattered, heavily damaged silver Toyota Yaris could be seen within the cordon. The car was smashed to pieces. It had clearly been hit by another vehicle and some kind of attack took place in the car. Ambulance service was called and the spokeswoman said that there was called there to reports of an assault. 2 ambulances and a paramedic were sent to the scene. 2 patients, both were men, were treated for multiple injuries and taken to hospital. The last one in Sparkbrook, that Stratford Road area of Birmingham, a man was slashed in the thigh and in his head and had his Vauxhall Corsa taken by a gang. The notorious Vauxhall Corsa. Very sought after cars in Birmingham. The victim, said to be in his 20s, was sat in the car on Stratford Road and was approached by 3 men. They got in the car, they drove around following an argument and then attacked him with a blade. The assailants took his car keys and dumped him on the roadside before he called paramedics. This happened at about 3 o'clock in the morning on the Friday, so them 4 people got stabbed within 6 hours and the shopkeeper was just yesterday. This shows that Birmingham is not immune to the same effects of what's happening in London. This next story involves a Thomas Samuel who was actually taken from his Birmingham home, tortured, his burnt body was dumped, and he died 3 months later from his injuries. Like, that's just messed up. The 45-year-old was kidnapped in a white van. Police are now trying to identify. Released footage of these men just blatantly, just no attempt to disguise themselves. He was escorted to his vehicle from his house in this white Peugeot Boxer van. They drove away at around 8:45 on March the 27th. At 10:45 the next day, at 10:45 the following evening, he banged on the door of a property in Lancashire to raise the alarm. He was suffering from 75% burns. He was taken to hospital by ambulance. Thomas died in a specialist burns unit in Liverpool on the 21st of June. Rest in peace to Thomas Samuel. It'll be interesting to find out what the ins and outs of this story are when the truth does come out. And in this final story from Stoke-on-Trent, I'll have to cover this story even though it may reduce the monetization on the video. Feel free to help support the channel by donating via the PayPal. He has been found guilty but spared prison. He was 18 years old and he was convicted of raping a girl under the age of 13. He was having sex with her and telling her not to tell his friends and family. As you can see, he's a complete and utter waste man. And he's admitted inciting a child to engage in sexual activity. He also admitted taking a vehicle without owner's consent and driving without a licence. He has now walked out of Stoke Crown Court after being handed a 2-year youth rehabilitation order, which includes a supervision order and a curfew and a 12-month community order. Bradley told the girl not to tell her father what had happened. The motoring offence related to when Williams crashed a stolen motorbike in Burslem. Mr. Tatlow added he tried to overtake a van while riding a motorbike with a female passenger. After the crash, they ran off to A&E. His defence solicitor said he had a troubled upbringing since a very young age. It's clear we're dealing with a young man who has difficulties. It is clear the concerns were raised about him from an early age. He's set to be on the sex offenders register for 5 years. This 18-year-old, legally a man now, took a child, like they're saying under 13, so she could have been 11, 12, on a stolen bike, had sex with her, and just groomed the life out of her. And he doesn't go to prison for it. So what kind of a precedent is this setting for rapists out there that think they can go and groom young children and have sex with them? How is this not setting a precedent? I don't understand. It's absolutely disgusting. I want to hear what people's comments are on all these stories. Please try and be constructive. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. The Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Peace.